This is Media Philosophy, and we're exploring the deeper side of aging and gaming, something that's becoming more prevalent. Gaming and aging has existed since gaming has existed, and games have existed since the dawn of time. But definitely, games today are completely different than what the Sumerians were playing back in Mesopotamia. Were they even Sumerians? But it's interesting because it's something that, one, aging is something that everyone's gonna do in general. No one's immune to aging, not even that billionaire that was trying to reverse age himself, that documentary on Netflix. And of course, your hobbies, some hobbies you're gonna keep up with, and some hobbies you're gonna drop, and some hobbies you're gonna change the way you interact with. For me, when it comes to gaming, it's funny that basically games stop existing after 2015. Whenever Metal Gear Solid 5 Phantom Pain released, that's the end of games for me. I'm set, I'm satisfied. Put me in the nursing home, close the door, see ya, Gramps. Part of that is I don't really want to learn any more games. And my ability, I guess, to suspend disbelief with games has just kind of evaporated that. And now that I'm an adult, it's harder for me to actually just sit down and want to watch cutscenes. That's probably a mixture of just aging and my zapped attention span. But that's probably that definitely does not help immerse yourself in the story when you're just trying to mash through into the next game, next part of it. But even in general, I feel like there's just something about games from around like 2016 and before that are that are unique to that time period. Every couple years, some game comes along that completely changes a mechanic or just pushes the boundaries of what's possible, and then it's groundbreaking then, but then other games adopt it and then become a norm. And that's, I would say that happens every, 5, maybe 7 years. And I could see taking this position of just being stuck in the past and wanting to play the games that you grew up with as a kid being a little bit weird when the height of gaming was Castlevania for the Sega Genesis or something. That I just feel like while that era of gaming is so beautiful, I love sprite graphics. I just think that there's so much creativity due to the limitations of those kinds of games. Even though games on that during that generation are so beautiful themselves and so wonderful by their own merit, I just don't think anybody can look at games during that era and just say they're objectively peak gaming. Even if you did grow up playing those, because those games are kind of the arcade style where they're meant to be really hard to stop you from playing so you don't beat it right away. But once you've beaten it enough times, you're gonna learn the exploits. I mean, just like any kind of game, you start just learning how to beat it. But that becomes less apparent with these more current games. I would say, especially starting from I don't even want to say during the PlayStation 2, Xbox, and GameCube era. I think there were still some very archaic mechanics. I think there's a reason why not as many games from that era have been remade today as compared to things like on the Xbox 360 or the PlayStation 3, and maybe if the Wii. Well, within a Nintendo, they're all self-contained, so they do their own stuff. But I would just say the number of games that were on the Xbox 360 or PlayStation 3, the amount of those games that get remade today are so much greater. And that's probably the thing, is just like an access thing. One, I just have myself a Steam Deck, probably the millennial godsend right here. This is what makes aging and gaming so good, is the portability of the Steam Deck, of being able to just sit on the couch with whoever, friends, loved ones, family, and watch TV and still game. It's honestly the thing that allows me to game. I don't have the space dedicated for gaming. I hitched my wagon to Mac for content creation reasons, and it's so sad how limited gaming is on the Mac. But at least the Steam Deck, while not perfect, picks up a lot of the slack. Do I get wrecked online? Yes, but who cares? It's all about the fun. But there's really two routes you can take when it comes to aging and gaming. To get back on track, what we're trying to talk about, there's really two tracks you can take when it comes to aging and gaming. Because you can stay really contemporary. You can try to keep up with the games, and I'm sure a good number of people do. I just can't do that. I see a game like Elden Ring, and while I see so many people love it, I I'm so out of the loop on what's current. I've never played like Minecraft when it comes to like the whole survival craft. I think it is the worst genre out there, but it seems so popular. This is the stuff what I'm talking about. I feel like during my peak gaming that I'm gonna play, there's just a lot of shooters, a lot of either first person shooters, third person shooters, and while they're really simple and dumb, the boomer shooters, as people call them, they already have a title. That's how beautiful the whole cycle of aging is you don't even need to come up with your own slurs because the younger generation has you covered. But yeah, there is something about boomer shooters that really resonate with me, that really just hits all the right buttons. It's so linear usually. They have a campaign which typically was, I would say, front and center when I was growing up in high school, junior high. It had to be the campaign had to be the meat and potatoes of everything because online was the supplement. So it's nice when I can revisit a lot of these old games and still have a solid single player experience. Oh, but I am so shocked how many things, just thinking about my own personal gaming while aging experience, I am so shocked how much stuff is on Steam and very shocked on what is not on Steam. I remember when I first got the Steam Deck and forgot how amazing the Steam sales were. I would just buy everything I could find. I found Sonic Adventure Battle and Adventure DX on Steam, and oh my god, was I transported instantly 20 years ago. It was insane getting to play those games, and they're still so fun today. It's amazing when a classic childhood game still does hold up today. I have to learn how to get my old emulation deck running, but that's gonna be a whole nother video. Or just buy the whole Nintendo Switch online, whatever, plus expansion. Because I feel like besides Nintendo games, you can find almost any game again from PlayStation onward, PlayStation, Xbox, more or less onward nowadays. I mean, even like Super Nintendo games, Sega games, there's a lot of options. It is insane what you can find on Steam. And I'm just so grateful that before it was like aging and gaming required maybe space or time or money to build some sort of collection. You know, you had to get the Super Nintendo, you had to get a PlayStation, you had to maintain those when those went out, you had to go and actually buy games, some were rare. So while a lot of people do complain about modern gaming or whatever, I don't know. I don't understand why you can complain about modern gaming when you can have modern AAA games available to you and then still enjoy such a backlog. God, the most recent game I bought was Resident Evil 4 Remake, and that's because I just really got on the hype train, and I forget how quickly Capcom games go on sale, and I am so disappointed in myself that I didn't wait. I actually bought it for $60, and every time that the actual game and the DLC go on sale for like $30, I just tear up inside. I will say that indie games, we'll have to have a whole nother video about indie games, but indie games do hit the spot a lot of times. But it's sad that now we are paywalled behind a lot of these experiences where I feel like there used to be a lot of Flash websites that had quality games that were for free, and it's really sad that those have disappeared, but that's a video for another time. I really do feel bad for a majority of the collectors if they were collecting games for some sort of hopeful monetary gain. Now, of course, there's some hardcore collectors, you know, sometimes you see the whole like Mario Bros going on sale, but that's so rare, and that's gotta be like probably unopened and things like that. I remember though going to buy like retro games and whatnot, and it was a lot of fun. There is something very special about the old retro consoles like this Super Nintendo. Oh my god, it just hit me that me calling the Super Nintendo retro console was probably hurt the same to certain people the way that it hurts when kids today refer to even the PlayStation 2 as a retro console. Oh, something about cartridges are so special. Just getting those so bulky discs. We're not talking about aging and gaming at all. I got so off track. Aging and gaming. It's all just capturing the childhood. Because even if you do continuously try to keep up with contemporary games, eventually age is going to catch up with you anyways. Whether you just fall behind skill wise or eventually whatever is current you're just not going to be able to get. But have games really changed too much since 2016? Well, I would say it does come down to what kind of games are popular. I would say, well, of course, first person shooters still exist, third person shooters, RPG. The genres have always been there. It just seems to be how they use it. And it's probably just because I'm on Steam and I'm just probably barraged by them. But again, it just seems that crafting survival games, I don't know if it's just the easiest thing for AIs to make, but oh my goodness. Oh, but speaking about just childhood games, those humongous games, or yeah, Pajama Sam, Spy Fox, oh, those were so much fun. Oh, is this gonna turn into a nostalgia? I guess I have nothing really to say about aging while gaming, except it's just gonna happen to you. And for me, I just cope with it by just staying before 2016. I'm honestly just playing the same two games now. One game really. It's mostly just Team Fortress. It used to be Metal Gear Solid 5 and Team Fortress, but with Metal Gear Solid 5, I just get too hardcore into the game where I just shut the whole world out around me, and it's probably not healthy. It's probably not good for my eyes. But with Team Fortress, it's so lackadaisy. That game doesn't matter. I can set it down. I don't feel bad if we lose. Well, I would just say enjoy games while you can. If it's new, old, whatever, if you're trying to chase your childhood, just enjoy it. We have so many things you can play, so many options that there's really no wrong answer. The only wrong answer is to play something that you don't like. So just go enjoy yourself. This is Media Philosophy exploring the deeper side of entertainment.